about an issue at school that you want to be changed. All right, so this letter can also serve as a persuasive letter. So what we're going to do, now that you've got your text type, we're going to make some formatting changes. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to select all of our text. We can do that in a variety of ways. All right, so we can start off by selecting all the text, just holding down the left mouse key and selecting all the text on the board, or you could use your keyboard shortcut by using Control-A. That selects all the text. Or on the Home tab, you can go over to the Editing group, click on Select, and then select all. Either way works. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Page Layout tab. We're going to change the margins. We're going to change our top margin to 2. All of the other margins will stay the same. You don't need to touch any of that. We're going to click OK. Now you'll notice that you have a 2-inch top margin. Okay, that's the first change that you have. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to change the line spacing from double. Notice that there's a space in between each line. We need to go from double to single. So we're going to select all of our text. We're going to go to the paragraph dialog box. We're going to change our line spacing from double to single. We're going to make sure that the after is changed to 0, and we're going to put a check mark in don't add space between paragraphs at the same style, and click OK. Now notice that our text goes from double to single spaced. Okay? Now, we're going to place our insertion point beside your Dear Mr. Griffiths. We're going to press Enter 1 time. Now, we have to do some formatting. We're going to add your address. So your address will be typed here. Remember, your address is going to take up 2 lines. Then we're going to press Enter twice and type the current date. We're going to press Enter 2 more times. All right. After Mr. Griffiths, we're going to make sure we use a comma. So Dear Mr. Griffiths, comma. We're going to press Enter 1 time. Now, notice that our paragraphs are all clumped together. We need to go in and edit this, all right, and look for changes in ideas. So you've got our first paragraph. I'm going to press Enter twice, put a space in between there. I see that I've got a third paragraph. I'm going to press Enter twice there. We're not going to indent the 3 paragraphs. At the end of your last paragraph, you're going to press Enter twice to insert a space. All right. Then what we're going to do, we call this Sincerely in Your Name. We call that the salutation. So we're going to place our insertion point to the right of Sincerely, comma, and press Enter 4 times. So when you print your letter, you're going to be able to sign your name. Okay, so now that your personal letter is formatted, you'll print, sign your name, and turn it in. Now that you have your letter written, it's time to look for spelling errors or grammar errors. You can do this by right-clicking and selecting the correct spelling of the word. Now, we need to select all of our text so that we can change this line spacing of the letter. You can do that by going up to the Editing group and selecting Select All, or using Control-A on the keyboard. Then we're going to go to the Paragraph dialog box, and we're going to change our line spacing. So we're going to go down to Spacing. We're going to make sure that we put a 0 in after, and we're going to change line spacing to single and add a check mark beside don't add space to paragraphs of the same style, and then click OK. Now you notice that we have a single spaced paragraph. It's now time to change the margins. We're going to go to the Page Layout tab, click on Margins, and go down to Custom Margins. Now we're going to change the top margin to 2, and you're going to leave the bottom left and right margin at 1. Now we're going to place our insertion point in front of Dear Mr. Griffiths, and here you're going to press Enter and type your address. Remember, your address goes on 2 lines. Then we're going to press Enter 2 times. We're going to type the current date. After you type the current date, you're going to press Enter 2 more times, and you're going to type the recipient's address, so the person you're sending the letter to. You're going to type their address. Remember, their address should go on 2 lines. After you type the recipient's address, you're going to press Enter 2 more times. Then you're going to place your insertion point to the right of Dear Mr. Griffiths and your comma and press enter once and then twice. Now it's time to separate our paragraphs because we just have a big blob of text. So when you want to separate your paragraphs, you're just going to press enter 2 times in order to leave a space in between each paragraph. You're now going to look at your salutation line. That'll be sincerely and comma. You're going to place your insertion point to the right of sincerely and press enter 4 times. This is where after you print your letter, you're going to sign your name.